four food entrepreneurs, women. So we'll go with this.
Yeah. So on the panel we have Shanmuka Priya from Cake Crush. We have Anita Kamraj from Shots by Anita. We have Nikita Kumaran, and we have Yashika Sangvi from Yashi's Kitchen. So we'll start with Shanmuka Priya, ma'am. Can you introduce yourself? How, like, what is your experience, and how did you end up in this field?
Hi everyone, this is Shanmuga Priya. We've just started Cake Rush probably 2 years back. We are two friends, me and Shantini, who have been childhood buddies. We learned most of the education right from school till MBA. After we finished MBA, I went into an automobile sector and she went into an IT sector. And then when we were discussing about starting a business, because baking wasn't very new for us, we were already baking for our friends and our families. And when we started to think about a business project, we ended up with, like, why not, we bake professionally and we just start a small venture. So that is how Cake Rush evolved, probably in 2017 December. We sourced most of our products. We had one of US, so all the colors, all the sprinkles, all the essence have been. She got it for us, and then we started with cupcakes, and then slowly we've started learning few skills that is required for the cake baking and for all the other pastries, and that is how we started Cake Rush. So probably now we have close to 6,000 followers, and we are two people who are doing it, and we're pretty busy with that. Yeah, that's about Cake Rush.
That's nice. I would like all the viewers watching, if you have any questions, you can keep asking on the live chat, or if you want to wish somebody luck for this thing, you can do it on the live chat. We'll be reading it out in intervals. And yeah, moving on to Anita ma'am. Anita ma'am, can you introduce yourself? Ma'am, your voice is mute. I still can't hear.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Now?
Yeah, yes ma'am. You're perfect now.
Yes, you're audible.
No ma'am, we can't hear
Ma'am,
now.
you're able to hear you.
Now?
Yes ma'am.
Yeah, so hi, this is Anita. I'm a food and fashion photographer based in Chennai. So I've been doing this as a hobby for the past 8 to 9 years, professionally for the past 4 years. So once I started the photography, pretty seriously, after getting properly acquainted in fashion, I thought then I should really try something different that nobody has tried. So I started food 2 to 3 years ago, and since then it's been going good. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Oh,
That's
we'll go
awesome.
on to Nikita, ma'am.
You asked me, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing photography from 2012. That is when I went to Scotland to do my masters. That's where I figured out that I wanted like a pastime away from studies and library. So I went into photography. But after I came back from the UK, I've dabbled in almost all the fields of photography, from street to weddings, to babies, to fashion and everything. And currently I'm settling down in food. I think it's about a year and a half since I started food photography, food and product, and it's been going good from there.
Awesome.
Then we'll go on to Yashika.
Hi everyone, I'm Yashika Sangvi. I'm a food blogger, baker, and graphic designer. So I started when I was in college. I was working as a freelancer of graphic designer, and later I started baking. So baking and cooking has been my passion since childhood. Like I've always been passionate about cooking. I enjoy cooking; it's my favorite hobby. So I started taking cake orders. Like initially I was cooking at home, and everyone around me gave me good reviews. So I thought, why not just bring it out professionally? And this is what I really want to do. So I started taking cake orders. After 1.5 years, whatever I cooked at home, like I used to cook at home also. So I thought, like, let me share it on social media. So I used to put it up there, and people started asking me for the recipes. So I started improvising. I started modifying those recipes to improve them, and I shared it on my social media. And that's when Yashi's Kitchen started because I thought, why not share it with everyone? And yeah, that's enough about me.
Yeah, that's nice. Uh, Also, Yashika Didi, can you like move away your camera from you because like your head is getting cut?
Yeah, fine.
No. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we have got your introductions, and it's good to know how did they all start. So moving on to the first question, Srinidhi, are you going ahead?
Okay, I'll start it, Naman. Okay. Okay, what inspired or motivated you to start all this in this field, like blogging or baking? What inspired you to start this?
Who do you want to answer first?
I'll go with Anita, ma'am. Okay.
So apparently, I'm not a blogger.
No, anything
Yeah,
like
okay, okay, fine. So
everything.
a couple of years back, getting into food blogging was the a new trend. Everybody got into blogging. I also got into it, and I found it very interesting. I explored a lot of places in Chennai, and I almost covered almost 75 places here. Then I thought it was getting too mundane, and it started boring for me. So I needed a change. So then I thought, why not try food photography? So when I shot a couple of shots, then my friends started saying, a couple of hotels started saying that I should really give a thought to it, and I should really, pursue it as a profession. So then that's how I basically started food photography. I collaborated with a couple of brands, and since then I've been like doing it very seriously compared to the other fields that I'm doing. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think the food blogging pulled me into food photography.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Next up.
Then, Gita, what inspired you to start this?
If it's only respect to food photography, the inspiration is in the panel itself. In fact, I've actually seen a lot of her pictures, and I've actually spoken to her also a lot to find out, how she started and what I should do, what I should not do, and all of that. But generally, photography as such, I think I keep on mentioning it everywhere I go to talk. It's always been my husband who's been the role model to me to get inside photography. I think, in fact, I've always wanted to do food, but then I've always been scared. In fact, my first paid job when I was in the UK was food. I shot
Okay.
it for an Indian restaurant in Scotland, and they paid me £100 for it. I don't even know why they paid for it. like I look back at the pictures right now, and I'm like, okay, no, this is not worth that much amount. But anyways, that was my first paid job, and I don't know why I left that and I started going into other fields. And for me, I never thought I could actually style a food, or I could make it look pretty instead of just ending up eating it and stuff like that. So but last 2019 is when I thought, okay, I should stop this and get into it and see if I can or cannot do. I mean, if you cannot do, you might as well move on. But if you can, then you should, give it a try. So that's when I got into it. And of course, like I told you, I've always spoken to Anita. If I found out what I should do, what I should not do, she's guided me in a lot of ways. And now I think I'm a little better than whenever I started long time back.
You're doing amazing.
Room for the improvement, but yes, for me that's how food started. It's only been a year and a half since I started with food.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to ask you one more thing. Like as you said, so how long has it been that you have joined this food photography field? Is it like only the past year or?
Yeah, from 2019 March to be precise.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Moving on
then
to
moving on to Yashika.
I've always loved cooking. So for me, inspiration was at home. My mom, so she's a great cook. So I learned everything from her, and baking happened just like accidentally. I will tell you because once on my brother's birthday, he asked me to take a batch of brownies for him, and it came out really well. And I thought, okay, this is fun. I have to do it every day. I'm enjoying it, and I started taking it to college, and I started giving it out to my friends just like that. And they told me that it's so good that you should take it forward professionally. So I was like, okay, along with graphic designing and baking, I have to bring up a combination of that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna create a page and just randomly put up pictures of how it is going. So people started giving up very good feedbacks, and I got orders, and this motivated me to constantly do what I was doing. Like it kept me driven to what I was doing, and then later, I started curating recipes because I thought, okay, if I can do it, I let me not keep it with myself. I have to share it out with people, and when people started trying out my recipes, that's when I knew that okay, this is how I have to go about it, and it was working great for me. So that constant feedback from people kept me motivated and inspired me to work more and more. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now, Shanmugapriya ma'am.
What motivated me to start baking? I love to eat cakes, basically, right from the small age. So that is how I started baking. I started recreating the recipes that I used to taste it. So that is how this all happened. And when I decided on taking it as a mainstream business, I went to a basic class here in Coimbatore. It's called Lata's Kitchen Academy. So Lata ma'am actually gave me the first order. I was pretty scared to even take a professional order. She gave me the first order. I had no ingredients in my hand, and the next day where I want to deliver the cake was a shutdown. So I baked the cake the entire morning. I frosted it at 6 o'clock in the morning. I even didn't have the idea to make a batter on one go and then bake it separately. I used to do it from scratch thrice. I finished the cake. I didn't know how to write on the top of the cake. I practiced it with the chocolate. I've written probably like 50, 60 happy birthdays in the chocolate on an OHP sheet, and the best one went on the top of a cake. So that is how the first order. That is how we did the first order. We didn't even have the red color for the red velvet, which is what we wanted.
Yeah.
So we delivered, and the person was very happy with the taste and the outcome. So that gave us a very big moral boost for us to even start it commercially. So for us, like we saw this, what is going to be the worst when we start it, commercially. So that is how the basic motivation is for us, because we love desserts, we love to eat, and then we started baking it. So that is the motivation. And one big thing is about my mentor. She gave us the first order. Like that was the starting point for us. Yeah.
First orders are always special. Okay.
Yeah.
So as Nikita ma'am had already added that it was an unconventional choice to try photography with the food. So I would like to know everybody's opinion that do you also consider your this phase of this career unconventional choice, or because it has risk. There are, even when it comes to blogger, there are hundreds of bloggers out there who are competing with you on a daily scale with like one recipe per day or maybe more. And the same way when it comes to photography, do you also have this competition? I would like to know more about this. What do you like if you call your career as an unconventional choice? Anybody could start.
So, with respect to competition, yes, there is actually a lot of competition. Even see, like even in this panel, you have two food photographers who are sitting right here and talking to you,
Yeah.
right? But the only difference here is me and her are on talking terms, and we are more like friends than of actually a competition. But that's not the case with everyone. You know, especially on Instagram, a lot of people follow you just to see what you're up to,
Yeah.
and and to make sure they won't even hit like to your pictures, or they won't even comment anything on your pictures. They're just there to see what you're doing. Either they're going to be criticizing behind your back, or they're going to be like, no, no, it's not nice. I can do better. That's the kind of thing that's there on Instagram. As much as we like to say women support each other, women uplift each other, and all of that, there's always a set of people who are always there to pull us down. So that competition, I think, irrespective of being an unconventional or a conventional choice, competition is always going to be there. It's just about how you take that competition or how you're reacting to it, and if you want to waste your time thinking about it or better yourself, that's your call. That's up to you.
True. And the competition goes for every field. Like everybody is gonna agree on that. Yeah. Moving on to Anita, ma'am.
Yeah. So see, there's going to be competition everywhere, irrespective of what you're doing.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, people are going to pop up with their own ideas. So this particular lockdown, I've seen more food bloggers, food photographers, bakers grow just crazy like wild mushrooms everywhere. So everybody wants to do something. So what will make you stand out is how you love your job. I think that is the only thing that will matter at the end. I mean, how consistent you are, how creative you are, and how much ideas you can generate. People are like Nikita said, there are a group of people who just want to bring you down. I mean, that the whole idea is to do that. But what how do we come out of it is how strongly consistent we are, how creative we are. I think we just, no matter what, we should just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
We should not stop at any cost.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part. I mean, the minute you get discouraged, then all the steps that you've gone up is a waste, complete waste, according to me.
Yeah.
So the minute you start feeling bad, or you start feeling insecure, then you start self-doubting yourself, and that's a that's a very bad phase to go into. So yeah, just love your work.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's a nice piece of advice for everybody here. Moving on to Yashika.
Okay, so competition is going to be there everywhere, whether it's your classroom or if you're doing blogging or you're doing anything. So, and social media is so easy to access that you can just peep into anyone else's work with just one click. So,
Yeah.
I think if you want to stand out, yeah, so standing out is the whole point. If you're unique and innovative enough, then you're anyway standing out, and there's this constant change you need to bring in your work. Because if you're stuck with one work, this is going to be with you only for a week, and the next week, 1,000 people are going to do the same other thing. So this constant change in your work, the improvement in your work is what keeps you ahead of everyone, and more than ahead, I think as far as your work is original, you're doing good. Your work is original and you're enjoying what you're doing, then everything is going good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shanmuka Priya, ma'am.
Regarding to the competition, maybe with baking and all that, we have, like 10 bakeries in a street. So
Yeah.
how you stand out from them is very important. We sell cakes on an average of 1,500 per kg mark, and you have the bakeries who sell at 600 per kg mark. So how you would convince your customers? First, you have to know your customers, and and you have to explain what ingredients goes into it, because it's easy for us to buy a premix, make a cake, decorate it in a good way, and sell it. But what goes into your cake matters, and the awareness that you have to create to them also matters. And taking inspiration is fine. See, we have so many cake designs out there in Pinterest, out there. We have a fellow bakers who do that. Taking inspiration is fine, but copying, I don't think so. And then at least we must have that mind to appreciate, or tag them, because we have taken inspiration from them, and all such things are important today, because every now and then we find our designs getting copied without any credits. And we shouldn't mind all that. We have to still stay update, still try new techniques, new designs to keep us stand out. That is how we try to deal with the competition and the current scenario.
Yeah. So in my previous sessions also, I had the same discussion with like other artists, like artists as in whether it is mandala artists or any other field artists. So they also had the same thing. Copying is not fine. Plagiarism has a lot of problem and difficult to track. So I get it. And I also wanted to ask, like, there's one question in the chat for you. What is the biggest challenge that you have faced in Cake Crush, and how did you resolve it?
The biggest challenge we faced would be, delivering the cakes. We would make some, two-tier cakes or something like that, and then when we try to give it out through Ola or any other cake delivery partners, we are really scared till the cake goes to the venue, because all the ingredients that we keep on top are very fragile. All the fondant accents are very fragile, because end of the day there is a theme party and you have a particular theme, and the cake has been made in that theme, and when you don't have all this on top of the cake, it's such a blunder. So for us, a major challenge is delivering the cake in the proper shape, and yeah, that would be a biggest challenge for us to face.
Okay. There is Shobha Hariharan who's wishing Yashika. I wish Yashika more and more success on her future endeavors. So proud of her. Keep rocking.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah,
She's
awesome.
my designing guru. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Uh, Srinidhi, you
Moving
got
on
it.
to the next question. What's the impact of technology that you have on this? How has technology impacted on the baking, blogging, food photography?
I think the whole concept of blogging and photography and everything revolves around technology. Like, so
Technology, yeah.
nothing, because that's one medium which connects us and our audience. Like, that's how we can reach out to our audience. Because if I'm doing something at home and if I want people to know about it, technology is the only way that I can just reach out to them staying at home. So yeah,
Yeah.
very
I think
important.
especially this situation, COVID has brought all of us online
Yeah,
more than
Yeah.
going offline.
That is
Uh,
online.
as photographers and bloggers, Instagram and other social media handles has become an important part of our life to actually showcase what we're doing and how busy life is, how not busy life is, what's happening, what's not happening. Everything, whatever we do, is out there through social media. I think it's helping us connect as well as helping us with our business also. Although it's not as great as how it used to be before COVID, it's okay. Like, connection wise, yes, all online. Business wise, it's still dilly dally, but getting there. But
yeah,
this is the only way that we know that who's doing what and what projects are coming up and things like that.
100%. Anybody else wants to add on to that?
Yeah, so technology is a really important part for our businesses. I agree completely. Like Yashika and Nikita told. But what I completely believe in is no matter how you let the technology influence your work, I think only word of mouth will sustain. I think end of the day, I think that's where it hits. End of the day. So no matter how no matter a very good no matter how good a website we have, no matter how great a profile we have, apart from commercial stuff, I think when you want to connect to your job like in a soulful manner, I think the word of mouth will only sustain. I mean, if I somebody tells me that go hire Nikita, then I'll immediately go. If a friend tells me, I will not think twice. But even though if technology is there, I think word of the mouth matters.
Okay.
Wow.
So technology here in baking has played a vital role. Um, our most of our businesses are online. We take orders through Instagram. So I think there's no change like before COVID or during COVID with that aspect. But technology now we have 3D printers, acrylic molds, which have been we can customize it. So all these technologies that have been that we are using now has created more personalized experience for the clients. So say for example, we 3D print their photos, or maybe all the personal customizations has been done through technology. The Instagram staying connected is another part, and these technologies helping us to create a more personalized experience for these customers is another part. So I guess a vital role in to create a better cakes for the clients. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I would also like to know how important it is to invest in technology, like in the current period. Like not only COVID, but in the current, 2018, 2019, when the technology is growing and so is the competition. So how important it is to invest in technology and what role does it play? Somebody started awkward silence.
No, I'm waiting for somebody to answer.
Okay, with respect to photography, I think our gear is our most important technology in our life, and a lot of you knowing how to use your gear and at least staying up to date with whatever is coming out from the company is very important. The problem with us is investing in an up to date technology will take a little time because it's very expensive,
Yeah.
and deciding to invest in it or not is another completely different story, because it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of decision making. Do I need it? Do I not need it? Can I manage it whatever I have right now? A lot of thinking goes into it. So for as photographer, uh, as much as it's important to be up to date with whatever is happening in the field, it's also a very confusing state for us, because it's not easy to just like that go buy what you want and
Yeah.
start clicking with it, because like for example, I'm a Nikon user,
Hmm.
and if by the time I decide to move from one camera body to another company might come with another challenging or more better option than what I was looking at. So, there's another confusion that's happened. Should I go to this, or should I be here, or should I just, stay with what I have and not, go for an update like 3, 4 years later when Nikon is deciding to decide something else. So, that kind of confusion is always going to be there. Uh, so, as for a photographer, I think it's a very difficult situation to always be up to date with technology and wanting to, have all your gear and lens on par with everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, Blogger and baker. So coming to you, how important it is to keep your Instagram up to date, or invest in promotions on Instagram? Like, have you ever done it, and what is your experience?
Yeah, I've promoted like one or two recipes of mine. I didn't know how it works. So when I started, for me, it was like I have to come up with a good recipe, which is unique. At the same time, it has to taste also so good. So the balance of both has to happen. So for me, I was like, okay, I'll go with a good recipe and all that. Later, I realized that that's not enough. It has to be equally appealing on the social media. So I think I have to take lessons from Nikita and Anika, because I seriously, after I am a BScom student, but I have never been into photography. I've never liked. But later, over the time, I understood that if I have to sustain this thing, photography game has to be good, which is actually not good, but okay, it's getting better. And slowly, I started using my phone more. Like, I thought the phone camera is good for selfies, for taking my good pictures. But no, I had to use some other options, some, I don't know, some editing, this, that. So I was a designer, so I can edit pictures. But photography never mattered to me. So I think having a good phone, being a blogger is very important. Having a stand, I know all these things exist, but I never thought I will be needing them. So as I'm learning, I'm getting one by one. Like I'm getting to know things and I'm getting to know how to use them also. So I think this is a huge process where you need a lot of stuff. You need a lot of gadgets, which, you know, gets into photography. And yeah, so recipes is not enough. You have to have so many other things which
Yeah.
is related to photography. Yeah.
What about Cake Crush? Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Please
Sorry.
go ahead.
The question about keeping pages active, right?
Yeah,
Instagram
yeah,
handles. Keeping our Instagram handles is really important for us, because that is how we ensure all the orders have been tracked, and the orders have been accepted, and all those things to streamline everything. Our Instagram posts really important, and handling them is very important. That is how our business is. Our business is entirely on the Instagram handle, so we ensure we are replying on time, and we track it down, and we go back and finish all the orders on time. So yeah, Instagram handling is very important for us.
okay.
Oh. And
Just a minute. To all the viewers, if you haven't liked the stream, please do like it so it goes on suggestions of other YouTube users, and also consider subscribing my channel. And if you have any other questions that you would like to ask any of these, you can put it in the live chat and we'll read it out. Deepak says all the best to all of you all, and Kirti Priyan says, I have tasted the cake from Cake Crush. Excellent it was. Keep going, Shanmukha Priya. We
Thank you.
have, yeah, there are a couple more people wishing luck. And we have Yash with a question for Yashika. What is your favorite dish you would love to cook often? Well, I know Yashika's favorite dish by now.
Yeah, pizza. Everyone knows it who's on my Instagram. I'm a huge fan of pizza. I make it at any time of the day. I just have to crave for it, and I'm on my toes. I go to the kitchen and I cook it like that. So yeah, it's pizza.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Srinati, you go ahead.
We'll go to the questions or we start with some game or
Yeah, we could go to the game. Just a minute.
we'll go
Let
to
me
the
set it
question.
up, and you will have to use another device because it's gonna be on YouTube that you will have to see the question.
Okay, yeah.
Just a sec.
Game.
Uh, I am. Can you like check on YouTube if it's visible? It will be visible within like 45 to 50 seconds. Until then, I have one more question. So there was this trend of Dalgona coffee, like the same, just an example. So everybody started putting up posts related to Dalgona coffee, and a lot of bakers started, like, even if they aren't bakers, they started putting up the recipes. So when it comes to that kind of situation where you have to go with the trend, or just to, because there are two instances that can happen. One, people will tell everybody's making it, so she made it in peer pressure, and there is another instance where you have to like give a break to that thing because everybody is literally doing the same, and you have to come up with something new. So how do you manage to choose between those things?
I think it's
Never,
just yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Anshul.
Yeah, okay. Never go with the trend. I mean, people are going to, you know, uh, like even if an idea is good or not, if people like it, if a celebrity does it, people are going to follow it. I mean, never succumb to the pressure. That is what I believe in. I mean, how you stand out is going to be different. If that thousand people do the same thing, it is not necessary that you have to do it. I mean, unless and until you really like doing it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, that's up to your choice. But never succumb to peer pressure. It's always going to be there in the field.
That's when I started putting up recipes. So I was like, should I put dalgona or not? And I was not at all fascinated with this idea of dalgona coffee with having this bland milk below the froth on top. So what happened was I saw so many bloggers who got like a pinch of change in the recipe, and I don't think it made a big difference. They would add a pinch of cinnamon to the coffee and tell that this is cinnamon dalgona coffee, and add something else and this is that coffee. So I thought, okay, if you want to maintain the competition, you have to come up with something, but it doesn't have to be that. You can bring out something else. So what I did was I know a lot of people who are working out at home. So I thought instead of putting up this dalgona coffee, I'm going to put up a protein shake, chocolate protein shake. So it was a split equally. So I felt like staying unique at the same time relating to what's happening is very important. You don't have to like make the same thing, but always maintain that competition or stay a step ahead. You have to do that. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think you can see the question on your screen. Is it visible?
No.
No.
You'll have to check on YouTube actually. Like use the link on YouTube.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so this is a game of connection, and we have put up images that indicate to a dish. Okay, if you aren't able to see, I'll just share the screen so you'll be able to see the.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. Give me a second to
Yeah.
get it out. Yeah, so this is a game of connection, and we have put up images that indicate to a dish. Okay, if you aren't able to see, I'll just share the screen so you'll be able to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, I think you'll be able to see the.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Just a minute. I'll set this thing up now.
Okay.
Anita, if you figured out what it is, text it to me.
Okay, in the meantime, we'll go with another question. Naman, can I go or is it ready?
Yeah, it is almost ready. Yeah, I think you can guess it out if you have the answer already. Anybody could like guess it off.
So you're supposed to connect, find a connection between these two images.
Yeah, these actually indicate to an answer of a dish. Like it is a dish which has been put up in using the
Amazing.
images.
I'll not be answering anything then.
Yashika should answer this.
I'm thinking of it very hard, I swear.
Oh, okay. I can give you a hint if you want.
Please, please.
Yeah, please.
Like the second one, the second image is E. Oh.
That I know.
Yeah, so the first image you can guess it what profession he is.
Chef.
Yeah, other name for it.
Cook.
Yeah.
Cookie.
Yeah, it
Cookie.
is. Yeah, it is cookie.
Cookie. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay.
Okay. We'll go to the second question.
Pancake.
Pancake.
Oh my god, so quick. Okay, give me a second. I haven't finished setting it up. I'll finish it off and then we'll continue. Until then, you can ask another question, Srinidhi. Srinidhi?
Okay. What are the difficulties and challenges that a newbie face in the food industry?
They'll not trust your work first. Initially, they'll not trust your work. Even though it doesn't matter how established you are or what gears you are, it doesn't matter. They'll not trust your work.
Okay.
They'll expect you to
So
work.
that's what I faced. That's what I faced at the initial stages. For me, getting orders was quite easy, but gaining trust. I mean, people thinking that this person will be able to do it. This person will be able to pull off food, because there are not a lot of food photographers back then. Right now, there are a lot of people, but back then there were only a few. So at that time, that was the difficulty that I faced.
Okay.
How did you overcome all that?
Me, consistency. I shot something every day. Every day I shot something. So as people saw that I kept progressing, as my work kept progressing, they started to feel that I can pull it off. And it's that will increase your networking also. So that's how I overcame. It's just consistency. It was just consistency for me.
Okay.
Okay, the other.
Any piece of advice that you would also like to give to the newbies? Because like now it is the time where a lot of people are, coming out and starting a cooking page, or who would like to venture into food photography. Is there any advice that you would like to give them particularly?
Yeah. So there's this thing. I mean, not every person with a camera is a photographer. Okay, so that everybody should make it clear. So
Okay.
before you get into something, just learn something about it. Research. Don't plagiarize. Get inspired. Don't plagiarize. That is really important. Then
Okay.
if you really want to ask something, mail it to, there should be a couple of photographers who inspire you. So just mail them. Just ask them questions. Instead, don't behave like you know it all, and
Yeah.
you can do everything, and don't like, so there are a couple of people just take idea from your work, and they don't even bother to
Credit.
credit you. So that's where it hurts the most.
Hmm.
So I think you should not do that. Learn and then go for it.
Mac and cheese. Hey, I got that.
Yeah, I was not ready.
I was just setting the question. I thought you will continue the discussion and
No.
you said the answer. Okay. So I also have another question. So this question is specially for related to COVID. So we spoke about investment and those things. So how important it is to innovate also. Uh, like Yashika said in earlier that if you put cinnamon on a dalgona coffee, it's not a big innovation that you are making. You're just trying to get on with the trend with adding some other stuff to it. The same way when it comes to photography, it's very difficult to innovate because there are a lot of people who are, as you said, are gonna copy, or a lot of people who have already did that thing. So how do you manage to innovate into it?
That's where you stand out. I mean, that's where your signature is. I mean, take an idli for example. 10 people will shoot it in the same manner. If one big photographer shoots it, the ten other followers will try to follow and shoot it in the same manner. How you give your twist to that particular product is where you can stand out. It's what will make you stand out. I mean, you have to just think out of the box. Think something that nobody has done. I mean, you have a lot of platforms now where you can gain inspiration from. Just just explore it completely. You know, as much as technology matters, I think innovation matters more because it's your vision is your photograph.
Hmm.
It's basically your handwriting. Okay, so how I think you should
Creativity.
every aspect that you think. You have to start thinking creatively.
Yeah, true.
For me, I think when it comes to food photography, food is the same. You take paneer butter masala. It's the same. It's no matter who makes it. Probably it's either going to be extra spicy or extra less spicy, or that's more about it. But the amount of ingredients that go to it, everything is the same. So that's the same thing when it comes to photography. You given paneer butter masala to photograph, you need to figure out how you're standing, how exactly like Anita said, what angle you're using or what prop you're using. Just even you make the tiniest difference to your photograph, it's going to stand out.
Okay.
That innovation has to come from you if you want to stand out, and if you want to create the difference in your profile. You have to think about other ways to photograph the same product. It's not like you can change the product anywhere. It's the same thing that you're given. It's just how you see it and how you perceive it and how you think your audience will like it, or whatever you put in should be they should be able to reach it well. That's the only difference that you can bring when it comes to food photography, because everything is the same. You just need to know how you're going to improve on whatever you've already seen.
100%. And Yashika and K Crush, do you also experiment with your food? Like, can I tell it it's an experiment or?
Yes, the whole process works on experimenting, and that's how you can create a new recipe. So everything you put out on the blog, like what I put out on the blog, is not that I made it once. Once it can come out well, but the same thing has to come out. It has to come out the same way when people try it out. That's the whole point of giving out the recipe. So if
Yeah.
I'm getting the result and if people are not getting the same taste, then it doesn't make sense me putting up the recipe. So I have to make the dish once, write down the ingredients, again do it, like make it again, keep repeating this thing until I get the consistent result. So if I'm getting that, then I'm good to go. If not, then I'll have to make changes accordingly, and that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, how about
Okay, we have a
yeah.
question. I have a question for Shanmugapriya ma'am. What benchmark did you keep to upgrade yourself?
Benchmark as such. Like to answer the previous question, experimenting is there for us every day.
Okay.
Like our benchmark is the taste and the quality that we provide. And say, for example, every new client comes up with new requirements. say for example, a kid who wants a first birthday cake who is sugar intolerant. So we need to make a cake based on their requirements. Or for someone who is in a keto diet, we need to make something with a keto friendly pastries. So every time a new order comes in, we experiment. We try to make changes in the recipe, like a normal recipe, to suit our taste, and then that is how we do it. So as such, the quality is a benchmark, and experimenting is there every day. It's there in every business, I suppose.
Okay. We'll move to the next question of connection. Oh, wait, you have to answer one more question. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
Cool.
ask.
Yeah, the next question is okay. Hare.
Donuts.
Oh my
Donut.
God, so quick.
So fast.
Okay, I'll very well go ahead with another question. It is feeling like I'm doing the fastest finger first in the KBC. Everybody's rushing.
And only Anita ma'am is saying apple pie.
Apple pie.
Okay. It's
Okay.
not ready.
I was not there.
Okay. So do we? Yeah, 1 minute. We have one more question. And do you all have to deal with a lot of pressure to put up with the best content, be it in any field, and like in finding new ideas and executing them? This is by Hannah. So I'll repeat it again. Do you all have to deal with a lot of pressure to put up the best content in any field?
So I'm going to share a personal experience that happened to me. So immediately after I have two babies, and immediately after my son was born, I took in a lot of pressure to want to keep putting in content on my page every day. The reason I did it was, I'm in a creative field, and I had this fear that if I don't keep updating my page regularly, I will be forgotten. And I think as a photographer, most of us have this fear that you're not updated. If Instagram is not active, then everybody assumes that you're not photographing anymore, you're not in the business anymore, and you're done. That's what they assume. So, and I really was very scared about it, and I didn't have my gear or anything. I started putting up pictures that I shot on my phone, and that's when about a lot of food photography challenges were going on Instagram, and I wanted to participate in everything. Not It was not mainly to put up content, but for me to learn. But what happened was, I stressed myself out so much. I pressurized myself so much that I one day just broke down. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I completely broke down, and I was like, you know what, stop. This is not what you need to do. You don't need to stress yourself out so much. And from that day, I stopped, and I started putting in content only when I felt it was nice, or when I felt happy about it, and not because Instagram needed to see that I'm active, or my
Mm.
followers needed to see me active, or whatever. So to answer this question, I think you don't need to let social handle pressures get to you. It takes time to actually form good content, and when you put up content that means a lot to you, and that you're happy about, it makes a lot of difference than actually putting up content just like that, just to keep yourself active on Instagram. I think it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So, like Nikita said, until this law, I mean, before the whole corona situation, so I was in the same mindset as hers, and as in, I wanted to post something every day because I didn't want to be forgotten. Because that was very important for us in this field. Else, we'll start losing clients, we'll start losing followers, everything. But after as the lockdown, it went by, I realized something that I didn't love doing it. So that's where it hit me. So after
Exactly.
that, I started doing things only that I loved. So I could see a difference in my work itself. I mean, I myself could see a difference in my work, and I myself loved my output.
Mm.
So social media is going to pressure you no matter what. So I think you should love what you're doing. Okay, I think, and only after that I could see an improvement in my work, an improvement in my perspective.
100%.
Exactly.
Uh, So Nikita ma'am, you have a fan, Kumaran Rajratinam, in the chat. In the chat. Thank you so much, sir, for coming by. We have a lot of people wishing luck again, and
We have another question also.
yeah.
To everybody, the most challenging task or work that you faced in your industry, which you can never forget, or that earned you the name. Can you
Sorry,
tell
could
us
you repeat the question again?
the most challenging task or work that you faced in your industry?
This question is asked by Lakshmi. Thank you, Lakshmi, for asking the question. So I'll repeat it again. It is she's asking about the most challenging task that you have ever done so far in your field, and that has led to a memory which you cherish again and again, or has earned you a big name from it.
I think for me, it's not challenging, but for me, I think where my name started coming out as such was the first fashion shoot that I did with my group of friends from here in Coimbatore. Deepika, Steffi, and Rudra. We all worked on a fashion project, and of course, my husband was there to help me out in it. And I think the output from it was quite happy. That like I was really happy with the output, and I think that that project is what put me officially on the maps in Coimbatore. Uh, from there, it's been a plus for me from there. But it for me it was not challenging, but that is one of the most memorable shoots I'll ever have. After that, we've never actually gotten to do a shoot as as that requires that much of planning and all that. But I really would look forward to doing something like that. But yeah, that's the one that put me on the map, and I had like the best memories from that shoot.
Awesome.
So one of the challenging things that we have done, it's not very challenging, but it's the part of the work. We did a first cake table somewhere around last year. One of our friend gave it us, and we were very skeptical about doing it because we are just two in number, me and my friend Shantni. To do a whole cake table, it's very tiring and very tiresome. And we did it, and after the cake table, we had a lot of orders. Probably we were doing 2 cake tables a month after that one order. So that was very pretty new for us, and it clicked right away. So yeah.
I would like to interrupt there. What is a cake table? Because I am not, I don't know.
Cake table is you set a theme.
Okay.
There will be a big cake on everything on the same theme: a cake, cupcakes, macaroons, brownies,
Oh,
cake pops, all the pastries on a same theme. You set it up very beautifully on a table, which would look more appealing way.
that's
So yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yashika, would you like to share your challenge?
Yeah, okay. So when I started taking cake orders, initially to understand your crowd is little difficult. More than that, I had this Rakhi event coming up. So that was the first festive after I started my orders. So that was just 2, 3 months after I did it. So baking everything at a stretch for an event is very, very, very difficult. So I didn't know it's going to go over the night. I started in the morning at 6 o'clock. I made a mind map like, okay, I'm going to start at 6, and by 12 in the night, it will be done. But it was not like that. So throughout the day, I started getting orders. So newly, when you're getting orders, it's very exciting and you're going to accept everything. But to complete them on time is so difficult. And I started in the morning 6, and midnight 3 or 4, I was still baking, and I was like, oh God, what is this happening? At that point, I was so stressed out. I was like, okay, what am I even doing? But after that, the review what I got boosted up my orders to an next level, and that's when I was like, okay, it was all worth it. It was totally, worth it working hard and all that. And one more challenge I face now when I started the recipes is understanding the audience is so difficult because everyone has a very different requirement. If there are Jain people, I'm a Jain myself, so I'll have to put Jain recipes. At the same time, there are diet conscious people, so if the food has loads of calories and they're going to be, can you please put something which is very calorie conscious? So I'll have to put something like that. After 2 3 days, some other person is going to say, I want something which is basic or which is helpful in my workout. It can be a pre or post workout meal. So matching to everyone's expectations is very very difficult. You have to constantly keep changing your style of recipes. Like this week, if it's something else, then the next week it has to be something way apart from what you did the last week. So yeah, to meet that, it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anita ma'am.
Okay, so it's not a challenge, but it's a really good memory, and uh, I'm not sure if we are allowed to shoot in trains here. I mean, you're not
Okay.
allowed to
Okay.
unless you do it sneakily. So local trains, in the local trains. So I got to shoot with one of my inspirations. So it was a morning. We went to the station around 4 in the morning.
Okay.
We took a train at 5:30, and I was so scared. And I was so scared. At every stop, I would hide my camera inside the bag, and I shot while the train was, running. And there was so much morning office crowd, and we shot there. And I think that shoot literally changed my career graph. So that shoot personally means a lot to me. Uh, it was very challenging, with respect to police and all that,
Yeah,
but it was very fun.
that's nice. Um, Adding to that, has there been any, not a fan mail exactly, but any Instagram DM that had appreciated your work so much that you remember, and it must be one of your favorite works that you got appreciated for, so obviously you'll remember it. So has there been any that kind of incident that you are like, okay, remembering throughout your night and the next day?
So
Yeah, there
very
have been a lot, especially when I started off as photography. I used to do this project called 365 days, 365 project 365. It's where you shoot one picture a day for the whole year, and
Okay.
that was my way of learning the whole art of photography. So when I finished that, and then when I did this shoot, a lot of people who had actually followed me that time, my classmates from college, they came and they said that I've improved from from doing just like shooting flowers and birds and everything to actually doing an actual photo shoot, and how much they see me grow, and how much they think that I've done really good, and that I've taken a proper career path and things like that. Uh, like I told you, for the first fashion photo shoot that I did, a lot of people messaged and said that, and I still have screenshots of all of those. And every time I do feel low, I tend to actually go back to them and read, and know that I can still go, and that I have taken the right decision, and that's going in the right path, and I just need to keep moving. So I think there might be sometimes strangers who just ping you, tell you that they love your work and they appreciate your work, and that I'm an inspiration and all of that. I don't know why. I still don't understand why they called me an inspiration, but it really does mean a lot when it comes from them. And I think everybody requires motivation at some point in their life, and somehow or the other, it's always a motivation from a stranger comes at the right time, especially when you're low, and it really does help you go take the next step, and be confident in whatever decision you've taken so far.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
did you like? I am not sure if I heard that you said 365 days, one picture
Yeah,
each day.
yeah,
That
it's
must
called
be
project
difficult, right?
365. It is very difficult, and it's a way for you to learn. So anybody, like, if there are people pinging me and asking if they want to learn photography and how they should start, this is the first thing that I tell them, to try do Project 365, because it really does help you a lot. It helps you learn. It helps you figure out what genre you want to do, what the difficulty in that particular genre is. So when I started 365, I started with street photography, and especially abroad, street photography is not easy, because if you're going to take pictures of a stranger, they're going to come and hit you. They're going
Yeah.
to ask you what are you doing? Why are you taking my pictures? It's like a privacy issue there.
Yeah.
So in spite of all of that, you getting your pictures, asking them permission, can I take a picture of you, and all of
Hmm.
that, it matters a lot. So it gives you the courage to actually start exploring what you want to do, and the and when it comes to 365, it's not necessary you have to stick to only one particular genre. you can experiment every day. So every day becomes an experiment for you. You like the picture, you put it up. You don't like the picture, then you take another one and decide how to do it. There is a little bit of pressure that goes into it, because there might be days when you don't have any picture, and then you either end up skipping that day, or you put something that's already there in your archive or something like that. But it definitely helps you learn. 365 is where I learned. So anybody who approaches and says they want to learn photography, this is the first thing I tell them to go Project 365, because it's a huge commitment.
Yeah,
And you commit for 1 year, definitely it's going to be a stepping stone for you for next year.
100%.
The next.
Who's going next?
Okay, one of the memories that we had, I would say, is we hosted one stall in Summer Night Market last year.
Okay.
We had our own followers, and there were pretty new people who came and bought pastries from us. That night, we had so many messages on our Instagram page. They went, they searched our page, and they texted us saying, "Our kids love the cakes. Thank you so much." And those messages are very close to our heart because we had so many of them messaging. We didn't expect this totally. And then from there, we earned a lot of clients who used to buy cakes for their family, for their birthdays. So it was a pretty new experience, which we didn't expect, and we were very happy. Like how Nikita said, every time we feel down, we used to go there, read the messages, and we also have people who ask us like, "Ma'am, when do you take classes?" So few inquiries like that, it makes you feel like you're okay, you're doing something. The people also wanted to to learn from you. So yeah, those are all the memories that we always have. We always take screenshots of all the good messages that we have.
That's nice.
Do you have one of those days where you like think, what have I done with my life, and is this my career? I mean, is it supposed to be what I'm doing? So on one of those days, I had actually gone out and I was like 100% drained. And so people came to me and they recognized me, say, "Are you Anita?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm Anita. So we really love your work. Can we take a selfie with you?" I understand if you go and take a selfie with a celebrity, I mean, you know the face, you know their work. And for a photographer, when you come and tell me that you want to take a selfie, then I think that day I decided I'm never going to give this up. And apart from that, every person who takes time to message me saying your work is nice, you're an inspiration, and every person who actually come to you with something good to say, I'm so grateful for every one of them. And I think all of those people push me forward to keep me going forward.
100%.
Oh,
Yes, Yashika.
Yeah, okay. So the messages what you get from people is the only thing which keeps you motivated. So when you take cake orders, like when I was taking cake orders, anyone who comes to me for the first time, it's just like they want to try out what I'm doing. When they come for the second time, that's when I understand. Okay, they seriously like my work. So one of my special memories is I got a message on Facebook from this random person, and they're like, "Can you deliver these your brownies to my fiance?" And I'm like, "I don't deliver. They can come and collect it from my place." So he told me, "See, I have no idea on what to choose and what not to choose. So you give out whatever you want." So I told them, "Okay, I'm gonna make brownies, and I'll call your fiance and I'll ask her to come here, collect, and go." And he tried it. So throughout their engagement journey, I was a part of it. Every month I had to give them brownies. And on their marriage also, morning they had their marriage. Like in the morning, 6 o'clock they have muhurtam or something. So in the evening, while they're leaving, she's wearing all the jewels and everything. They collected the brownies that night and then they left to Chennai. And now she's pregnant and she called me during lockdown. "I'm carrying. Can you please feed your brownies? I understand it's lockdown, but I'm craving for it." I'm like, this is like the hugest compliment I've ever got. That one customer of mine is so special to me, and I'm sure I'm never going to forget this. And one more thing, what happened was I went to Bangalore, and this random person in the fashion show, we had this fashion event in the fashion school. She told me like, "Are you Yashika? And like you bake, right? You have Yashi's kitchen, right?" I'm like, "Okay, thanks." This is like the hugest compliment. This I had just started then. So for me, any small message means a lot because that keeps you focused, like that keeps you working every day. So even if you're having a bad day, or sometimes you might get genuine feedbacks which are not good or something like that. But when you connect to your customers in such a way, when they give you compliments or something, I that means a lot to us. Like that's what keeps me working. Yeah.
That's nice. And
Yeah, nice.
throughout this question, everybody is smiling, so everybody understands each other how it went along. We'll take last two questions and then wind up the session. So, Srinidhi, you go with the we'll go with the next question after
I'll
we
go with the
do
last.
two more rounds of this game, and then you go forward with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody be ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corn, cheese,
Corn cheese balls.
cheese. No, corn cheese balls.
Yeah, corn cheese balls is the right answer.
Yeah.
We'll go with one more question.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the other question.
Green tea.
Green tea is right.
What was the rate of failures you met to scale the success?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are the failures you met? What are the failures you met to reach the success?
I think with respect to photography, the failure that you meet is people not recognizing your work. Like no matter what you do, they're going to still treat you as an amateur. Uh, for me, for me, the competition was me inside the house itself, because my husband is also a photographer, and I used to do weddings with the memory writers. I used to do weddings with them. So there was this one incident where I had gone for the wedding, and there was this known person who came, and she asked me if I was doing weddings as a hobby, and I was really taken aback, because if weddings was a hobby for me, if photography was a hobby for me, I wouldn't be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come and cover a wedding.
Yeah.
I'd probably still be taking pictures of something that I don't need to wake up at 3 o'clock and lose my sleep on. So all those kind of things hurt a lot, because it's photography, especially if there's a woman doing photography, nobody takes it seriously. Oh, it's passion, or you're bored at home, that's why you're doing, or probably you're doing it till you find another job. That was how it was. And at that time I was really shocked that I couldn't even come up with a comeback to tell her, no, this is I am doing it because I love doing it, and this is what I want to take up as a career, and that's why I'm here. So a lot of times this has happened. A lot of times it comes out in a way they don't mean to hurt you, but then what they ask you really ends up hurting you.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know if whoever asked this question is going to even consider this as a failure, but emotional failure does count. It's not necessary you need to just keep doing projects and not recognize. This kind of recognition is also very important. And when you're always put down for whatever you want to do, after a point you start losing faith in yourself, and you're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Should I be seeing something else? Uh, you know, Overcoming all of this definitely takes a lot of time and effort, and I don't know. I think this is what has led me to where I am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awkward silence again. Yashika,
When
you go ahead with.
Yeah, okay. If you say it as a failure, then I'm thankful. Nothing as such. But there was this period when I stopped taking orders, and I hadn't started my food blogging yet. So that period, I was so confused, because I was sure I want to do something related to food, but I don't know if people will remember me after this. Will they connect with me the same way they did when I was baking? So to overcome this, it took quite a lot of time. So one day I decided, okay, I'm going to put up whatever I'm doing, and that response what I got is what made me come back to what I'm doing now. But that little phase of not baking and then coming up, because when I was baking, I was getting so much of love, messages every day, feedbacks every day. Because when you give out cake to people, they will send instant feedback. Yeah, it was very tasty, it was good, this, that. So sometimes what happened was like after I finished it, I felt like, okay, will people forget me? Will I be even? Will people even like my work when I start blogging? It was very difficult to figure out what exactly or how exactly should I reach to people. So yeah, I've overcome that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Shanmugapriya ma'am.
Okay, for me, more of a failure, just a kind of a difficulty. There are few people who order cake from you, and they started, telling that it's very expensive. Why is it so expensive? So we explain what are all the things that goes inside the cake, and few understand, but not everyone understands that. So certain words they talk turns out to be a little abusive, and to manage all that was a bit of a task for us. But now, yeah, now the crowd that we have is pouring us a lot of love and support. But again, we do have customers like that, and we take all those feedbacks so that we could also improve, because that is how we grow. We also have to take the feedbacks from them, all the complaints and all that, and we try to rectify, or we try to give a better alternative for that, so that everyone can come taste our pastries and all, and things like that. So yeah, that was a difficulty that we would face often in our cake rush.
Okay. Anita ma'am.
Oh, okay. I think failure in the sense, I think it's when people don't trust your work. People don't come back to you for the second time.
Yeah.
People, so I think it is that. I think I'll consider that as a failure. If they don't come back to you, if they don't trust your work, I think that is where you really fail.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, I have a question for Shanmuka Priya ma'am. So, when I was small, I remember my first customized cake, that was Spider-Man cake. And since then, there has been a lot of innovation in the customization field. So, I am talking about when I was in like third standard maybe, and now I am in third year college. So it's like 10 to 12 years. So
Yeah.
I would like how has like this innovation, how it is important to adapt to these things.
Customization nowadays, all our clients are more creative than us. So people come with different ideas, and they require different ingredients and all those things. Like, yeah, we still have Spider-Man cakes. We still do Spider-Man cakes. Today all the inspiration comes from the latest cartoons, be it Frozen and all that. And for weddings, the things have been changed. Instead of giving a floral bouquet, they give we do a lot of cupcake bouquets for weddings, all for the functions and all that. It's getting innovated every day. For example, for a Valentine's Day, gone are the days where they give one rose and all that. Now they wanted roses to be made in fondant, in sugar, and packed very elegantly, and they have to give it. So every day, it's getting innovated, and our customers give us most of the inspirations than all the Pinterest and all the fellow bakers out there
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah. Uh, I have one more question, and I think we'll conclude with this question. So, you, like most of you all, must be the generation of Facebook, and now there is Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. So that is also a technical alternative that you have, upgraded to. So now a lot of people do not use Facebook. They have now shifted to Instagram, and in one way, Instagram engagement is more compared to Facebook. So how do you like manage to level up to the technical part? I'm just giving an example. Also, like the way Nikita ma'am told, okay, you have to keep upgrading your cameras, and the same way, you all must have something that you would have upgraded to, or you would want like this particular thing that, like, if I get this thing, my uh, current productivity will be more. What has that been?
Okay, so how we are supposed to run a business online is, what if tomorrow there's no social media? What if there is no platform to showcase your work? How will you attract your audience? That is how you're supposed to execute your work, because that is a possibility. That's a very major possibility. You can't depend on social media for all of your work. I mean, yes, it gives us major of the work right now, but what if there is no social media tomorrow. How will you run your business? You have to always think that, and I think that's how you should execute it. That's why I said more than technology, word of mouth will matter the most.
Yeah. Anybody go ahead?
Yeah.
And I think at this generation, having Facebook, Instagram, and all of it, it gets very exhausting to manage everything. Uh, you know, so I personally, me, I think it's been 2.5 years since I've even touched Facebook because it's a very strenuous process to keep updating your work on Instagram, on Facebook, on any other platform, on LinkedIn or whatever it is. So after a point, I think that exhaustion gets to you, and you decide to just concentrate on one platform that gives you more output than the other, and just stick to that. So I think with respect to social media, I don't think any of us are looking into upgrade. It's just more like a downgrade into just deciding on using one platform and not the others, because it's not possible. It's not possible. Already there are a lot of complaints that I'm on Instagram a lot. So if I'm going to be on Facebook also, then I think I'll probably get disowned from everybody telling I'm only on available online and not offline. So for me, it's not been an upgrade. It's been a downgrade only. I like Anita said, I think word of mouth has to matter more than actually being on present online. Uh, yeah, but for me, it's just a downgrade. It's not an upgrade.
Okay.
We spend most of our time online, searching for the recipes, be it searching or be it creating content or answering the queries. So yeah, we also have a page in Facebook, but we are pretty active in Instagram. So as we said, sticking to one platform is easier for us to even manage, track, and execute it more peacefully.
Yeah.
I started with Instagram first, but I started getting in messages that my mom wants your recipe, but she's not on Instagram. She doesn't know to use Instagram. Can you please put it on Facebook? So I had to open an account in Facebook, but I have to agree that it's very difficult to manage both, because then the quality of the content you can't maintain in both. In Instagram means you can focus only on Instagram. You can have a track on everything. So in a way, it's an upgrade also, because I started having like a larger audience there, because people there in Facebook are trying out my recipes even more than Instagram. So I think it's an upgrade also at the same time. For my personal level, if you see, then it's a little stressful, because it's very difficult to maintain Instagram and Facebook at the same time. You have to be regular on Facebook as well as on Instagram. You have to see how appealing it is also. So maintaining both is difficult for my end, but for my audience end, it has been an upgrade only after coming up into Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll continue with the game. Last 3 questions of the game.
Was it green tea?
Yeah, that was green tea.
The seventh.
Yeah, it was green tea.
Choco,
Coco,
Choco, mouse.
Chocoran.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
oh, chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mousse, yeah.
Yeah. Now this one, I don't think I don't expect Yashika to guess, because I think she might not know. And yeah, it is kind of related to Tamil word. So
Very
It's
good.
cupcake.
vanilla cupcake.
Vanilla cupcake.
oh,
Vanilla cupcake.
nice.
Oh,
And the last question. For an instance, I actually thought it was the wrong question. I thought it was related to some fashionable thing, but then I got the answer. So
Tell me if the first one is correct. Wing
no,
fish
Fisher.
fish tail, dude. You will not get it.
Yeah, I won't get it. No, it's not the one.
Give us a hint.
Yeah, it is related to eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Yeah, like
Brownie.
yeah, it was brownie.
How is that second
How
in
is-
the
I don't know.
And
There is knee, I guess. and there was a bro
Me.
brownie.
Oh,
Oh,
brownie.
Yeah.
okay.
Me.
Okay.
It's showing coffee.
I don't know. My creatives came up with this. Okay. Before I conclude, I have one more question. It just struck me. So, if you had to give a piece of advice to the beginners based on technical aspect, for example, if like as a content creator, if somebody asks me for an advice, I'll be telling them to get prepared with editing, like know your own editing, learn editing by yourself, and the shots, and get along with the trend on the technical aspect. The same way, if you had to give any advice on technical aspect or based on any technological things, what would you?
Uh,
I
I would like to advise them to learn their skills right. Today in lockdown, everyone started baking. Literally, everyone knows to bake a basic chocolate cake. How you will differ from that of how you professionally you differ is uh, learning your skills right. I always ask when someone asks me for any doubts, I ask them to learn sharp edges, learn properly, learn all the baking temperatures right, because when two people are given the same recipe, the outcome will be different for each one. So only when you get it right, it'll be more saleable, and you will also have the confidence. The clean edges, clean sharp edges, and all that would definitely help you boost your confidence, and you can try out new designs. Unless you are not having your skills right, unless you're not learning it right, then every time it's going to end up in a problem. So yeah, so go for classes, see tutorials and all that, and ensure your skills are sharp.
Yeah.
I think irrespective of being a food blogger or a content creator or a photographer, I think uh, you need to. I think one general rule for anybody is to practice. Keep practicing, hone your skills every day. Keep practicing.
Yeah, yeah.
याशिका दीदी थोड़ा पीछे जाओ.
और चाहो
एक मिनट. Yeah.
why am I
Actually, 1 minute. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Naman, will it take some more time?
Yeah, it will take 2 minutes. I guess it's proper. Yeah, so I'll just jump to the conclusion part so we can wind it up. And I'm not sure when the power will go back again, so
We'll wind it up then.
yeah, just a sec. Yeah, so firstly, thank you everybody for coming and accepting our invite on behalf of WiTech.
WiTech.
And WiTech is a women-based and women-centric company, a non-profit organization which empowers women and especially trains them on technical field. And they are based in Philippines and now they're expanding. So we have them in India as well now. Uh, So I would like to extend thanks on behalf of them. Thank you all for joining and sharing your experiences, answering our questions patiently. And if there has been any fault on our side, we are extremely sorry. We didn't mean it. And we would also wish you a lot of success in whatever you are doing. And yeah, keep growing and keep glowing. That is all we would like to tell.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank you once again.
you.
Nice to meet all of you. So happy that I got to meet all of you.
Thank you.
And all the very best.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
all the viewers for coming, watching them, asking questions, and patiently listening to everybody. And we hope that it would have helped you, answer your questions as well. Please do like the stream if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel. It will help me. It will motivate me to do more and do more sessions. And if you want to follow these panelists on Instagram, you can find their link in the description below. We have all the 4 panelists' Instagram links, so you can go and follow them. You can also DM for any queries to them directly. Thank you all for joining in. We had a wonderful evening with all of you all. With that, Ms. Chami Dukadam.
Michami Tukadam.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much.
great talk. It was great talking with you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.